Good morning, folks, and welcome back for another episode of Live Trading. Thanks for the handoff, Aaron Bree, to Live Trading. Looking forward to making some money here today. Happy hump day to all of you out there. 13s in the back, getting ready to fire it up. I hope you folks are ready. Let's make some money.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
All right, and welcome back. Happy hump day, traders. We are about to get it. Welcome back for another day of market action. I've got Alyssa helping me produce, and I've got 13 in the back. 13, how you doing today?
Doing all right this morning. How are you?
I'm doing really good. My word is we might hit the club afterwards, right?
With that shirt, I bet you could.
JK, no clubbing for us here today. We will go ahead and break down the market. Before we get started here, I do want to mention this stream is sponsored by Trade the Pool. So if you're a trader out there that wants more buying power or struggling to get over that pattern day trading rule, go ahead and check out Trade the Pool. They give you a funded account so that you can get above that. So you can have buying power to get above that pattern day trading rule and make some day trades. So if you have a system that you think you can profit from, check out Trade the Pool. They're great to us. They're here in the chat participating. So absolutely love that. Now, good morning. Great to see a whole bunch of energy here. Let's dive right into the market. 13, I'm actually going to start here with the SPY. This is something that I know we cover every day on Happy Hour here. SPY here looks like we did kind of pull back here. This is about to the 20-day moving average. Let me go ahead and actually add that back to my chart here. And it looks like we kind of bounced off that 20-day. To me, at least to my eye here, it sure looks like we're going to try and go back to that all-time high of 480 there. We'll see if we end up getting it or how quickly how quickly we get back up there. As you can see here, this light purple line, we are riding right above that 20-day. 13, did you have anything that you're looking for here on SPY to determine where we go next or how we're going to trade going forward?
Well, I did mention in the happy hour chat this morning that I had 476 pegged as the next resistance level, but based on the recent price action, it's starting to look like the psych levels 475 is playing some games with the bulls trying to get up above that. So that's a level that I'd be interested to see fall if we are going to get it's back to the all-time highs of 480. So far, it's this action staying above the 20-day SMA and 473 is encouraging for an up move, but we just haven't seen that yet. So those are the two levels that I'm looking for to get taken out to be more confident that we'll be going to 480. But I agree. At this point, it does look like we're on the trajectory to head there.
Yeah, it sure does. And we had a low volume day yesterday, so we'll see what the volume is like here today. We'll wait for that candle close. I'm sure if we get any news or any type of sudden movements in some of those broader averages, we'll talk about that and bring that up here today. Now, let's move over to the movers tool, take a look at some of the gappers. I'll be honest, 13 and I were discussing briefly here before we hopped on that doesn't look like there's a whole lot out there here today. I know yesterday we talked a little bit about having your long-term trade list. I don't have it in front of me, but I'll go ahead and pull that up here. We can actually talk about some of those longer term trades and setups and theses. Is that the right word? Not even sure. But anyway, we can discuss that with any downtime we have here. Now, for the meantime, let's cover some of these little movers here today. First one we're going to start with here is going to be CMND. This is Clear Mind Medicine. You can see we actually popped here. We're about $2 yesterday. Popped is just over 360 here today. We actually have a high print here of 369. We've kind of come back in a little bit. Looks like my VWAP disappeared from here as well. Let's go ahead and add that. We're holding above the VWAP. The last time that we came into the VWAP, we did a fairly good job bouncing off of it. So we'll see what we have set up here for CMND. If we take a look at the news here, we have Clear Mind Medicine completed a Type A meeting with the FDA. Our Benzinga, our news post here goes on to say Clear Mind Medicine completes a Type A meeting with FDA for clinical trial of its proprietary MEAI-based CMND 100 compound for the treatment of alcohol use disorder. Now, 13, do you have any reservations about this Type A meeting with the FDA?
Well, it's a type of meeting that is used for resolving disputes or issues bringing their product to the U.S. market. So I don't really know what monetary values attached to this, if any. But I think because of this this news catalyst and the fact that this is a low float is the reason why it's getting pushed around like this. And I got levels for this one too. I saw that EKS mentioned that this one had a 30 to 1 reverse split. I didn't catch that, but I'll just say that if that's the case, that's been kind of a theme with some of these low float stocks. If they've recently had a reverse split or high short interest, they tend to get noticed. They tend to get pushed around a bit to the upside. So not to say that his suggestion to be careful isn't valid. It's absolutely valid with these, but it's one of those things that some of these traders look for to get pushed around, especially when they have low float. So I think, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'd actually take that a step further from what EKS is saying here. We've seen a lot of these reverse splits actually produce some type of move after that split. The warning to be careful, absolutely. Generally speaking, companies don't continue to reverse split if things are going well. But for the purpose of what we're trying to do here, utilize that as a trading vehicle with a tactical entry and then a profitable exit. That strategy can still be executed here. So CMND, I mean, this is in play until it isn't, frankly.
Yeah, but there's another thing to this too, and I have some levels marked off, and I don't know if these levels will actually get hit or not. But I did notice that there's a pretty sizable gap in this stock. If you look back into September, there's about a $5. I need to do the math, but there's about a $5 gap in there that this
is right in here. I think 13. We've got split adjusted. It's about 680 on the bottom side of the gap and 1186 on the upside of the gap.
Yeah. So that's something to be watched. If this starts to move, then I'd be really paying attention to see if that gap fills.
And looking at this daily chart, you can see when we get these pops and these big green candles, look how short-lived they are, right? So if we have that situation again here today, again, don't be afraid to take your gains, especially on some of these smaller ones. I know we've seen a lot of stocks go from single digits to double digits, but we don't know that that's going to happen. And like you said, there's a lot going on here. Some good, some not so good. So just keep that in mind. Definitely a trading vehicle here for today on CMND. What were some of those levels? Is 360 one of them? Because that jumps off the page for me here.
Mine are, it's about 420, 545 to 550, and then after that I get to 7, and then I have some of the gap fill. Now we did have some price action in the gap fill on October 11th, where it popped and then dropped. So that kind of filled a little bit, but there's still some room to go. So I don't know that this is going to end up getting that high, but those are some of the levels that I have up until that point.
Okay, and looking here, what I see right away here, maybe this 334, maybe even back that down to 330 here. It looks like we're going to test the bottom end of this range here. And then, of course, we're going to talk about VWAP a lot, as we always do. We'll see if it finds any support there. 360 definitely seems to be a spot to the upside. We'll get to some of your advanced targets there, 13, as we move on. Okay, next here is going to be NVNI. This is NVNI group. I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly. Nonetheless, the stock was about $2 yesterday. We did pop as high as 4. We've kind of come back in. We're looking to move away from the VWAP here to the downside. Would like to see some volume come back into this name. We'll see what happens when the market actually opens here on MVNI. If we flip over to the news tab here, I didn't see anything. So if you folks have anything out there that you think might be driving this, let me know. I know that there was a corporate statement that came out yesterday, last week. I don't really think that there's anything fresh driving this. So if you guys figure it out, let us know. Jay Rice, real quickly here, saying GE, the only reverse split I have seen that worked out a month or so later. So this kind of goes back to what we were just talking about on CMND. Generally speaking, those reverse splits, especially if they're multiple, these are bad signs, even if the price goes up and we get some action the next day. So keep that in mind. Appreciate the context there, Jay.
If I could just add a little bit to NVNI. It does have a little bit more than 7 million float, but I noticed that it had higher volume yesterday than it normally does on average. So I believe that this might be moving on a relative volume. We also did get a price target last month, $5. So that could potentially be a target, but I believe that this is moving off relative volume from yesterday.
Yeah, and really quickly, we talk a lot about relative volume here. So just to be clear, what 13 is talking about is a daily relative volume. And you'll often see traders scan for stocks that had high relative volume after the market closes in preparation for the next session. And 13, I'm in complete agreement with you. We've seen that a lot here. This likely appeared on a lot of those scans and charts yesterday. So there might be traders waiting to attack that here today, and we'll factor that into our plan here. So good spot there. Okay, next is going to be LAES. And you can see that the theme here, a lot of these smaller stocks really kind of pop in here. All of these stocks that we have pretty much on this list here, all of them under $5. So we'll see if we can get any larger stocks to actually participate. I'm sure we'll have a better idea once the market actually opens here. But nonetheless, on LAES, this is Seals SQ. This popped almost as high as 220 and came back in. We're doing a good job holding the bottom end of this pre-market range here. Let's call it 190. It looks like we're trying to reclaim that VWAP. Let's see if we can do that, build above, and maybe make a move towards those highs. That would give us a tradable plan here on LAES. Again, same deal. If we flip over to the news tab here, you can see there actually is a catalyst driving this one. Seals Q launches a revolutionary on-package semiconductor provisioning service, shortening lead time to 4 weeks. They also announced preliminary unaudited revenue of $30 million, marking a 29% increase over FY 2022. Soars on the on-package semiconductor provisioning service. So this one likely to be in play here, actually has a catalyst. We'll see what the market actually thinks about that when it opens up here and when we get some more volume flowing into it. Bets, this one also a reverse split, right? Wasn't this the stock that was just like 6 cents? I'll be honest with you. This one I'm going to completely pass on. We'll see how the day sets up here for trading CMND, but BitBrother, Bets, I'm just not even interested.
1,000 for one reverse split. That's a new one for me.
Jay, you like those 1,000 for one reverse splits, right? I'm just checking. Just check it out there. Sorry, I tried to hold that one. I'm not a good comedian, so I was unable to do that. Okay, and then the one other thing, are we running out of time here? Yeah, we only got 8 minutes left. I'm going to finish with TGTX here. Of course, TGTX, I've been swinging this in the Trade the Pool account. I did have an issue with Trade the Pool that Gil, excuse me, is helping me work out. And in the meantime, my platform is not displaying my TGTX position. Now, this is unfortunate here. TG Therapeutic shares are trading higher after the company reported preliminary BREEAM v U.S. net product sales for Q4 and FY23. I got to be honest with you. This was a great swing in an environment where I was really struggling to get a good swing or to feel good about holding something overnight. We talked a lot about TGTX. This is actually a stock that I traded previously, I beg your pardon. And I also traded this in my main account with options and traded it with stock in Trade the Pool. So this was a massive winner. Big shout out to Jay Rice, who has been on this, talking about this for months now, it feels like. Jay, I think you started buying this around 10, maybe 9. You're up over 100% here. My average in Trade the Pool with my buys and sells got that up to about 13 from 11, but still a massive winner here, up almost 10 points. We were above 23 earlier. It looked like we were going to be testing 24. Wouldn't be surprised if TGTX gets involved here again in the trade today. So, okay. Mullen, 3-year highs is 10,080 adjusted for splits, and it's 14. So, Jay, giving you some more context there on the reverse splits that are just not good investment vehicles. Okay, let me flip over to the main workspace here. We'll go ahead and get this rolling. I do want to take some tickers from the chat. Looks like Becca's calling a penny stock KITT, KITT. I'm going to do my best to stay away from penny stocks, but looks like that is moving here. NVNI already on the relative volume scanner. We also had GRFS. We talked about this one yesterday. This is doing a really good job holding its move yesterday, taking the next leg up here in the pre-market. So let's keep an eye on GRFS and see if we can get a trade on this one. The other one that was moving here, this was also on the movers list, but we didn't get down there to cover it, was AMRN. And I feel like we've traded this one quite a bit here. We did try to pop a towards 120, didn't quite get there, holding here right under 115. We'll see if we end up building and moving above. Okay.
What had some pretty good news.
Let's take a look at it then.
It had some pretty good news.
Penny stock. I shouldn't discriminate, right? I shouldn't discriminate.
Well, I'm not too far away from you on that. Sorry,
Okay,
go
so
ahead.
this says it's down. No, this says it's down 17%, but it looks up here. I wonder what's going
Yeah,
on
mine's
with
saying
this.
it's up 27. The news on this was that it secured additional funding, appointed a new executive management, and it's improving operations and cost structures. So there's some. I mean, I don't know how much of this is true, but if this is all the case, then that's good for a company like this, that they actually are trying to make themselves more profitable and work on their company and turn things around. So this is a good catalyst. I don't know what the funding is. I don't know anything about the new management, but that's not why I'm interested in this. I think the catalyst is good enough to make this attractive for trading.
Yeah, and actually it looks like I've got a data feed issue here, because I did see in the scanner this is up 24% here, and
Yeah.
that would make sense looking at the chart. So oh, there we go. It looks like it just fixed it there. Probably have that's right. I'm testing the beta site for Pro, so there's probably some stuff in there. Okay, just fooled myself on that one. One of the other things I wanted to mention here before we open up, it got about 4 minutes till we open up here. AEHR, this is one of the stocks that we actually talked about yesterday in happy hour. We saw this getting shelled in the after hours here. Excuse me. We saw this getting shelled in the after hours here. Now it's doing a good job not breaking down further. It didn't really lose that $18 handle. We'll see if we get any type of bounce here. Obviously, pretty substantial gap up to about 22.25. We'll see if we end up getting that here today. We do have the catalyst here. AEHR test system shares are trading lower after the company lowered its full year revenue guidance. The company said revenue will likely be impacted by an anticipated delay in the timing of new orders from current and new customers. So not a good piece of news there. We'll see if this can recover at all and set up a trading opportunity.
I like the news on this one from yesterday that sort of revealed some pretty big weakness in the EV market because they're seeing the slowing growth rate of electric vehicles, and it has a negative impact on their orders. So I think that's something that bears worth pointing out.
Yeah, and I think that there's broader implications to EVs in general going on with that. We'll see if we can kind of read into that, and we'll see if that affects any of the other EV names. Really quickly here, Monica, I know you asked this yesterday. I wasn't sure if we actually explained it yesterday or if someone in the chat explained it, but I'll go ahead and do that here now. We've got about 3 minutes till we open. Can you guys briefly explain VWAP? I'll start here, 13. If there's anything you want to add, please feel free to do so. VWAP stands for volume weighted average price. So this is basically an average price based on the volume that the stock is seeing. I use this for intraday trading as it often represents a support and or resistance point. In fact, VWAP is one of those that we can actually see intraday on some names act as resistance as the stock is trading up. And then as soon as the stock takes that and claims it, actually will use that as support. So VWAP, very, very popular, I guess. Maybe that's not the right word. Used by a lot of traders the world over. Really, really helpful for giving you an idea. And the other thing is because it's an average, one of the other things is as the stock price continues to move away from the VWAP in either direction, right, up or down, we're actually moving away from the mean. So some day traders like to take regression to the mean trades. We actually saw this quite a bit in some of those bigger ETFs like SQQQ, TQQQ, SOXS, SOXL, when we were trading those every day or often. As the price of that ETF moved away from its VWAP, the odds increased that they would make a corrective move back towards the VWAP. And if we figure out any type of pattern as traders, we can use that to our advantage for short-term trades. Did you have anything that you wanted to add to that, 13?
You pretty much got it. And it's simply just a ratio of the average share price of a stock compared to like the total volume over a particular time. Yeah. So what it's really, I don't know this for a fact. I've been told this by a number of people that trade using this, that a lot of institutions will end up doing their really big moves around VWAP to kind of hide the size from retail traders. So it doesn't affect the market too much. I don't know how true that is, but it would make sense because that's where a lot of action can happen.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go. Monica, let me know if that was helpful. We are set to open here in 3 seconds. 2, 1, market open. Let's get it, folks. Let me go ahead and actually bring up, 13. I got to do this. There we go. Let's go ahead and trade the pool up there. We got a nice look at 13's beard to start the day off here. Let's figure out what it is that we're going to trade.
Smells like coffee.
And get it. Oh, 13.
Well, what are you guys looking at so far? It looks like the things we talked about are starting to fall out of the gate.
Yep.
CMND, if we can hold here and try to break these pre-market high, then I think I might be looking at the levels I was talking about before, but we'll have to wait and see. They do have a pretty good amount of bids down at the 330 level, so that's helpful. Let's see what happens. It might move.
Yeah, this actually looks like this might be trying to go higher here. It got that here. You know what? Let me set up order entry here. We might take a stab at this. All right, came back in a little bit there. Really want to see this. 320 is what I have as the VWAP. And again, I don't have, see, something's going on here with my VWAP on this 3-minute chart, but I don't want to mess with it right now. I've got another screen here. 320 is what I'm waiting for on a pullback here on CMND. Remember, buying the pulls has really been better than buying the breaks to the upside here. And if we take a look at some of these other charts, so you can actually see the action here on CMND. Sorry, I got lost there for a sec. CUTR continuation. Interesting. We'll wait for CMND to come back in here. Let me check CUTR. This was a monster from yesterday.
EKS C4. You got it. That one's hot out of the gate.
Okay, CUTR here did bust above that VWAP here and is moving. Let's take a look at C4 here. Crow calling LEAS. That was from the list here. C4 looking like it might try to take the top off here. This was from yesterday, right? So this was yesterday afternoon. We have the highs here at about 795. We'll see if we end up getting up there.
A lot of these from yesterday are just going. NKTX looks like
CMND at a bounce spot here. Might try.
Looks like CDIO is also going. ARDX popped then dropped. STA is not really moving that much, but it's slightly higher, up 1%. So yeah, keep those old ones that we were looking at and trading yesterday. They had a pretty good day later on in the afternoon. Keep those on your radar. They might get attention because I don't see a whole lot of other things happening with some of these.
Long CMND here, 325 for a bounce. Stop will be under the low of day at 316. In fact, let me go ahead and put that in here so I can move this away.
Yeah, I'm trying CMND at the VWAP as well.
Okay, so looking at top set at 316 here. If this breaks beneath, we're going to be out, but we're going to be out small. Playing this for a bounce here, stopped out.
There it goes.
Okay, 0 for 1. Big breakdown. But you see, but look right there. That's exactly why I selected that as a stop, right? If we break out of here, I don't want this to continue to fall. I'll wait for it to set up again. 0 for 1 here today. Yikes. Let's check on TGTX real quick. TGTX. So that's down from its highs here. We'll see where this sets up. This was above 23, pulling back a little bit here. Let me take a look at LAES and then 13. I'll go to whatever you need here.
Okay, yeah, because C4 is about to break through 8. It's got size there, and if it breaks that, it could maybe take off somewhere. It's really moving.
Yeah, here we go. And here is right at your high. There's 8 up here. Have 801 as the high.
Wow.
Now 805.
That was the one to be in.
Yep, that was it. Wow, you guys flooding the chat with tickers. Absolutely love to see that. and Jay, when we slow down a little bit here with some of these smaller names, let's talk about that uranium. We did see some news yesterday on some of those uranium names. I know you've been covering that for a long time. Let's take a look at some of those charts. 13, I think you actually might hold some of those, some of the same uranium names that Jay's talking about.
I do not have any uranium.
Okay,
names.
so
I should though. That's a good thing.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that here in a sec, Jay. Stay on top of that. C4 continuing to move higher here, and it looks like CMND is bouncing from that after taking that low out.
I didn't sell my CMND yet. I wanted to see if it would bounce. So far, so good. Let's see what happens. The C4 one. That's. I have to think that one's going to get halted if this keeps going like that.
Here's ticker Alt here from Steve in the chat. Altimmune popping to the highs here. If we take a look at the daily chart here on Altimmune, I've got a high here of 1252. We are above that here now. So this daily chart this is the previous days here. Hourly chart, we've totally cleared out this area. All looks good here for continuation. This is not one that I have a line on, but nice job. CUTR again. See if CUTR starts moving here.
Yeah, the C4 and CDIO and NKTX seem to be the hot ones out of the gate this morning. Any other hot ones out of the gate, folks?
Yeah, and CUTR maybe above 5 might get going a little bit more, and I think that that's possible given where we're at here today.
Now, did Altimmune have news? I thought I saw something.
Here, let me check Pro for that. Give me a sec. I'm starting to get the hang of this. The hang of this other machine here. Ticker ALT. Let me pull that up here. I'll actually go back to Pro real fast. Oh wait, I have to switch. Hang on, 13. I got you.
Beard view again.
Zunaid used to do that, or Mitch used to do that to Zunaid all the time. Put him full screen, Zunaid.
People are saying go EV. Okay, what is going on here?
Okay. Here,
I'm Altimmune Pro for me.
Yep, mine too.
And Nexi, people are saying, yeah, and there's another one that was working yesterday.
Here, I'm just going in here.
C4 is still moving.
Bets is halted. Yes, Bets just resumed, by the way. Bets just resumed by the. Here's GOEV. Bets was halted, just resumed here at 9:36. Where did Bets pop to the upside here? Is up 31% here. Look out. All they needed to do is reverse split that, folks. I'm joking.
I'm going to look at Nexi.
Here we go. That was going to say what?
Okay. Looks like that one's wanting to do stuff.
So Bets pulled and popped into that halt. Okay, I see now. Nexi's halted.
So Nexi's halted. Yep. And there's a whole, it's going to run right into that consolidation from yesterday. So if that gets eaten up, then who knows where this ends up. I'd have to look even further to the left. But I think that consolidation is going to cause problems for Nexi once it gets up to, let's say, about 1250. So watch for that one for resistance.
If we take a look at the hourly chart here, big curl on Nexi. There's definitely more room to go if this stays hot.
Mm-hmm.
Jay mentioning Meta at an all-time high. I'll be honest, I can't quite understand this one. Really don't like Meta as a company. Don't understand how it continues to print all-time highs here, but sure enough, this is what we're doing.
Is there some other news on this? Because I know that they're a big ad revenue kind of company, so I don't know if the ad revenue is coming back and really helping them out. When do they report? Let me see. Sorry, I'm asking questions I have access to.
Well, no, I'm trying to pull it up here. I'm jostling between two different things here.
They report
SATS up 20% here. Miles, I know you're taking a look at
QS with tweezers. That's interesting. I wonder if this goes higher. CMND trying to get back above VWAP.
So the most recent print that I have on Meta here, the most recent newsprint, you ready for this? Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg takes up most delicious, end quote, project of his life, raising cattle with macadamia nuts and beer for Wagyu beef on his $100 million Hawaii ranch. Yeah, buy stocks, all-time highs. Let's go.
And that affects the company how?
I mean, I'm not even making the claim that this is the news story that's driving Meta to its new all-time highs. I just think this is rather amusing more than anything else. That's the newsprint here.
Bill Gates is a farmer now. Buy Microsoft.
I like Johan's comment here is actually money. Meta is big cap tech. Does it really need a reason? Well, no. As a matter of fact, it doesn't. Oh, Johan.
C4.
Let's really quickly. I'm going to take a look here at Sats. I'll flip around here. I'm not in anything else here. Wow, Sats really pushing to the high here. We'll wait for this to set up. We are extended here from the VWAP. Definitely. Oh, that was the other thing, Monica. If you're still out there, one of the things that I really focus on is not chasing. I try to set myself up for moves and get really good entry and not chasing. VWAP really helps with determining that. As we push further and further from the VWAP, the feeling of chasing is more and more and more. And I use that to stop myself from making a mistake. Okay, you guys are saying that Kit is flying. Let's take a look here. Kit is flying. So this one, I actually when Becca, when you first mentioned this, wasn't this around 38 cents? Another 10 cents, 11 cents here to the highs. We're as high as 50 cents here on Kit. You folks with your penny stocks, good luck. Daily chart here on Kit, pretty awful.
Ocean Robots, that's interesting.
Nauticus Robotics.
This is the one that secured the additional funding. Okay, so like I said, I don't have like all the information on what funding they secured or any of this management, but apparently the market really likes this change, and it's a good change in my opinion.
This has nothing to do with the submarine that went down to the Titanic, does it?
I certainly hope not.
I certainly hope not.
Otherwise, that's going to look into the future, and you can get an idea of what theirs will be like.
Probably shouldn't joke about that, but here we are. By the way, let's take a look at Tesla like we normally do. Tesla here selling off again here today, down to the 233 handle. We'll see if we end up bouncing. It looks like we were at 232-ish on the downside here. We'll see if we get a bounce there on Tesla.
Great call on CDIO, Will. It's trying to get above the regular session high of 310.
There
Might
we go.
do that here.
I have 311 as a high print here.
Well, we use different brokerages, and who knows which one's right.
Yeah.
In any case, I think it just broke, or it might have broken your high on your broker. Broke the broker.
Watching ARDX for a breakout. Okay, so that's pre-breakout. Let's take a look at that and see if we have a setup here. ARDX.
Trying to find support.
So I think what you're looking for here is a breakout above yesterday's high, right? I've got that at 930 here. We're pulling back here after yesterday's move. This seems completely normal. Pulling back to right around 9 here. Actually, this is not a bad setup here, EKS.
CMND is trying to come. It's making its way above VWAP. This might be coming back. I'm still in it. Haven't sold yet.
Kind of want to try some of this ARDX now that EKS brought this up.
Wow. Nexi. Jeez. I'm telling you guys, these old ones. Sorry to keep interrupting you.
No, it's fine. You're totally fine.
CMND got a VWAP rejection. Still within my risk tolerance, so haven't sold yet.
ARDX, do we bounce here? You know what? I'm gonna try some.
It's looking pretty good.
We're gonna try some here, and we're gonna same deal here. We don't want to set a stop beneath the lows here. Not 892.
BTBD, what's going on? Let's take a look.
Let me actually set this stop, and then I can flip over to that for you. 892.
To me, it doesn't look like a whole lot's going on. I don't see any news.
There we go. Stop set.
Doesn't have the biggest float.
Okay, let me flip over to that. BTBD. Weren't we looking at this one yesterday? I feel like this was a ticker from yesterday. Yeah.
This was a ticker.
Yeah, I don't see it doing much of anything here. Maybe it comes off this level. We had a huge pop to above 7. We retraced the entire move. We're right back to where we started here. But I think something else has got to drive it here. I'm actually seeing a pretty big spread on this name too. Not my cup of tea.
Someone was asking about DNA. Rustam,
Yep,
you were asking about, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. DNA, it doesn't seem to, let me look. I'm not seeing immediately any news headlines. I have to read through some of these, but I did notice that it's got a very low float. So this could be another one of those that's getting pushed around on.
DNA was a Kathy name, wasn't this?
I don't know.
Ginkgo Bioworks, pretty sure it was.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to set a stop in CMND at about 260 because if I get there, then I'm just going to take my loss.
All right, I'm going to wait this ARDX bounce out, stop at 892, position started at 905. We really want to see a break towards those highs. What I'd really like to see as a first test here is 931, maybe 930. See if we end up getting there. And if we get a pop above, we'll just close it and take the profit off the table. We are 0 for 1 here today, so would love to get some green on the screen. DNA has a huge float, trades really, really thick. But wasn't that a Kathy name? Am I mixing that up? Yes, Ryan. Okay. No, there's multiple people confirming that. Okay. I'm pretty sure DNA is a Kathy name. I think so too, Caleb. I think so too. I might be saying Caleb a lot more come next year. The Bears are able to draft 13. See what I did there? See what I did there, folks? Okay, CMND, that looks like that's just sold off out of the gate. Your first stop is your best stop. I'm actually encouraged that we took that one off the table. Looking around here at some of the other names, let me see if I can go back to Pro. See if I see anything new off the scanner that's worth mentioning. Still watching ARDX though.
I was considering getting into Nexi when it was around the 13s, and now I kind of, I can't wish anymore, but I probably should have gone into that time because it's still trying to push up. Looking a little heavy though, and looking a little spready. Be careful.
Okay, so here is your Nexi chart. I'm still waiting on ARDX. Might get stopped out here. We'll see. Nexi popped as high as 14, came off that spot, but again, yeah, looking like it's going to try and trade back up there.
And C4 got up to, well, my broker says it got up to 834, and it's trying to hold VWAP.
Actually, this is a pretty nice back test here on C4. Doesn't he only want to play for a few teams? Yeah, maybe. And have I seen the 30 for 30 on Elway versus Marino? I want to say yes, but wasn't there one on that entire draft? I think there was a 30 for 30 on that entire draft. Ton of good quarterbacks came out in that draft. Can't believe what was Marino in the 20s or something like that. Just wild stuff. Let's see on C4 here. Don't really see anything else. 13, I think you hit it right on the head earlier. I don't see a whole lot. We had more action yesterday, I feel like, you here today.
And, it could be that we were discussing how all the really big information, the big market moving information is coming to starting tomorrow with CPI, and then we go into bank earnings. So that could be, what the market's waiting for. And interestingly, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to jump in there. That's my fault, 13. I think that's one of the reasons we kind of saw low volume on the market yesterday, that waiting phenomenon that you're mentioning, waiting for some of that data.
Well, you're right. CDIO isn't falling. It was holding VWAP, and now it's higher.
SANA popping to 7 here. We actually took 7 out and came back in, looking like they're going to try to go at that again. 647 your VWAP on SANA if that comes back in. Another biotech name, by the way.
Yeah, I remember a time when all the tech names, all the really small company tech names were just absolutely going crazy back in 2021. Well, now it's biotech's turn, it seems.
Yep, seems like that. NVIDIA, big call sweep, 2 million call. That might be a closing trade, though. 560 strike on those calls. Wow. February 2024.
Nexi's still slightly above VWAP, trying to make new highs, but as soon as it does, it just gets smacked right down. It seems like every time it goes over 14, it just seems to get rejected.
AMD falling out of bed here, right down. Looks like it's trying to bounce off 147. Market movers in the chat asking any news here on AMD. Let's see. I don't see anything really fresh here. I don't see anything fresh. I think you're just down 1% here at the overall market. SPY ripping to the highs here. How are the Qs doing?
We brought up AMD yesterday for some reason in happy hour. What was the reason?
I think it was just somebody that wanted to take a look at it, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were. Andy was talking about it, and then we also had somebody else talking about it on how it's had a pretty strong move up through its 20-day SMA and trying to make new highs. Maybe it's just extended, but the RSI wouldn't seem to suggest that. So I can't really say for sure.
By the way, stopped out on ARDX there to the downside. Unfortunately, C4 here traded back down to the VWAP, snapped it, and is moving lower. We want to wait for that to set up here again. You got it. MVNI, Crow calling NVNI. Let's take a look and see what that's doing here. 0 for 2 here today. Having kind of a rough day. NVNI looking like this might be curling back towards your VWAP. An NVNI.
Yeah. Hasn't, I mean, the 200 EMA on the 5 minutes down at 233. So that would be another level of support that I'd be watching in this for a bounce. But if we can't hold above that one, then I wouldn't be watching it anymore.
Yeah, Caleb. Now I do vaguely remember what you're talking about. Maybe I should refresh myself on that one. Real quick. Good. Happy New Year, Born. Great to see you. Happy New Year.
Thanks, Born.
All is well in your corner of the universe. Sydney saying GTC is alive. Sydney. Let's see what GTC is doing. Yes, it is. Big pop here. Giga Cloud popped above yesterday's intraday high here at 24. Currently looking like we're going to test 26 here. This look at this move on the daily chart on GCT. Wow. From tens. 150% here.
I'm looking at PLTR for Maxim. Oof. Just I'm seeing a big red candle occur right now on the 5 minute chart. It looked like it had a great pop out the open. I don't know. I don't have an edge on this one, unfortunately.
PLTR. Maybe we get a curl off this 1650 level. Ashton, good to see you. Good morning. We're doing well. Smoke Tuna calling Arbot. Strong push on Arbot here. Another penny name pushing to the high. So we've got Kit and Arbot, your two penny players of the day here so far. Kit continuing to push above that 50 level. Bex, great call here. I think you were on this at 38 cents. Good stuff there. LAES, I beg your pardon. Maybe we're curling back to the VWAP here. This was on the list here from today. We pulled back down to that 160 level and bounced pretty clean off that. 157, your low print of the day here.
So robotics in the medical field and the nautical field seem to be getting attention for some reason. I wonder if that's something we should be looking at further.
Yeah.
Robotics.
Other sympathy plays for that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what, I do like this LAES on a move back to the VWAP here. Maybe we curl here. Daily chart looking pretty good too. If we can get back up to that 2 level, not that far away. I actually would have appreciated a little bit better entry on this, especially starting over 2. I almost think I want to be a little bit more tactical here. Yeah, Glenn did have a squad. In fact, that reminds me, I've got to reach out and offer him his winnings for the swag. You have your fair share. You have your fair share of that. Yeah, Glenn won the. I believe.
Nice.
Glenn won the.
Congratulations, Glenn.
I actually have to look. I admit, being out of town here, I've neglected my fantasy manager duties, which is a shame.
I think it may have been Glenn that kept me out of the playoffs.
and then he went ahead and won the whole damn thing.
Then he went ahead and won.
IWM bleeding, says CM. Let's take a look at the IWM here. I do see a lot of these smaller stocks, especially the ones that I'm kind of holding, rolling over.
Didn't we trade ACAT yesterday? It says it's delisted now.
ACET, right? IWM is trading
ACAT. Okay, maybe I typed that in wrong then.
It was ACET that we traded yesterday. That's popping here. ACAT. Let's take a look at. Oh, that's a different ticker. Okay.
I think that was my mistake. Sorry.
Yep, all good.
Nexi is still trying to push to stay over to get over 14 again. And it's doing it.
Yeah. When we first started trading Nexi, this stock was in the 6 handle. You know what this stock reminds me of in terms of the trading action? Veru. Ticker VERU. Where's that at?
I think I remember that one.
That was a blast from the past year. Veru is a penny stock, folks. 55 cents. We were trading that. Okay, I remember this. It's time to put some people on blast here. I remember this. We were talking about this when it started to take off from 6. I scalped it. And I think I made like a couple $100. Wasn't that great, but it was a nice little scalp. Mm-hmm. And I had someone in the chat razzing me, just multiple days razzing me for selling way too early because the stock did end up going to like 14, 15. 50 cents now.
And then Nexi just went up and made new highs, and then it came back in under 14 again. I hope this isn't a theme developing here for this one.
Well, I was looking at Nexi for potential entry here, but it's just too spread. And that's exactly what we got, that pop in this pull. Now we get the spread tightening up here. We'll see.
I forget who it was that was mentioning PLTR. It's getting some pretty good bullish activity once it drops beneath certain moving averages here, and it's trying to get it back above VWAP. Maybe it's worth keeping on your radar.
Yeah, the 1 minute chart on PLTR looks like decent for a curl here. Look how spread Nexi is. Spread over 40 cents right now. Wow.
Hey, if you're trading Nexi and you're making money off it, hats off to you.
Yeah, exactly. Hats off to you. OMGA, 1 hour chart breaking out. So this is what Crow is looking at, I believe. Crow, I'm not trying to speak for you here, but I think this is what you're looking at. This consolidation area here on the 1 minute chart that goes back to the 5th of January here. We're testing this level and trying to break out of this. Worth noting that if we do, potentially 530s, if we can get that high. We'll see here on OMGA. We traded this one recently too. $4 to $5. So I might have even been a little late to that order flows. $4 to $5, $15 now.
I think OMGA is something we traded last Thursday when it had that first pop.
What was the? Oh yeah, no, you're probably right. And now maybe we've kind of reaching the bottom. Maybe we've put a near term bottom in, and we're going to start to curl back up. We'll see.
Yeah, this could be on. This could be a good stock
PLTR rolled over a little bit there, by the way.
Rustam is bringing ABVC up. We traded this one too. Another previous runner. What's going on here with this one?
Not a whole lot here. Volume looks pretty low. SANA next leg, says Jay. SANA. Oh, yeah. Popped out of that consolidation area. Is this halted? Let me see. Let me check Pro here. Nope. This hasn't updated on my signals tool yet.
Let me see if I have that on mine.
My Pro. Oh, there we go.
It is halted.
Looks like. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think my signals tool updated here.
It is halted. If that's the first halt, there might be an opportunity here. We've seen how halts on the up to the upside can continue to keep going for about 2 or 3 times. I don't know if this is the first halt. Yeah, Miles, exactly. Halt up. So if you can successfully trade this, I think there's opportunities in here. When I've done this, I've used bracket orders typically.
AMD continuing to move to the lows here on AMD.
Yeah, that had a nice
Apple also at the lows, by the way.
I think Andy and Happy Hour had it right. Just semis are not looking too great. Nope. I agree with that. CMND, my trade may end up working out here. It's coming back up and trying to get back above VWAP. Let's see if I get rejected here or not.
Let me bring that up in the pool here. CMND.
Looks like so far it's
right back to where I was stopped out earlier today. We'll see if it gets above the VWAP and moves. I'd love to see the volume expand here. That's the one thing we're really not getting.
It does have some traffic to get through in order to get back to where we opened, but we'll just have to wait and see, because right now it kind of looks a bit bear flaggish, and I would think that maybe it goes lower. So it's probably not looking like it will work out for me, but I'm still waiting to see what happens. My risk tolerance is pretty good for this, so I can afford to have it go down.
The sign of a good trade right there is structuring it so that you're not too quick on the trigger there. Let your plan work out. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Oh, PLTR, new lows for the regular session, going down to pre-market lows.
Yeah, tough morning. Maxim, it's funny because we actually kind of discussed that here, didn't we, Joe? We discussed how it might not be a whole lot going on. Definitely seems to be a little bit tougher here than the last few days.
Yeah, and I think that we'll have better opportunities later this week. I really do think we will.
I agree. I agree. Remember though, no live trading on Friday as we have our quarterly meeting here for Benzinga. So I think we'll have some type of rerun content, but no live trading on Friday. Just a reminder. Market waiting for CPI tomorrow, says EKS.
Yes, sir.
That is exactly what we've been saying. I think you're exactly right. OMGA going to take 5. Crow making some predictions here. OMGA busting out of that area that it was just in. We'll see if it can actually get up to 5. Daily chart looks pretty good here. Looks like it's really curling on that daily chart. And if you look down here on the hourly, we are right at that breakout spot that Crow first alerted us to, 450, 452. We're sitting right there, intraday high 456, ticker OMGA.
Looks like C4 had a bit of sideways action. Don't know if it's done yet, but it is below VWAP.
And while we're on the subject there of the quarterly being Friday, don't forget, folks, market is closed on Monday in observance of Martin Luther King Day. So you guys have done guys and gals, I beg your pardon, have done such a great job here. I'm giving you the day off on Monday. AMRN being called in the chat here. Let's take a look at that. That was on the list here from this morning, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll look at UK that Market Sniper is asking about.
This is actually a pretty good formation here. Broke to the high and immediately pulled. That's what we're used to. Volume looks a little thin on this one. Spread 10 cents.
I don't know what
Quantum saying if we're waiting for a CPI numbers, then I expect a range day. That makes sense. Big thanks, Ryan, for Elon. Elon, I'm not sure what for, but you're welcome. Question mark?
Yeah, and just a reminder, CPI for November headline was 3.1, and all items less food and energy was it 4.0? Looks like it was 4.0. Santa, but SANA should be about to open. So let's take a look there.
SANA?
Mm-hmm.
Big thanks for the day off, says Alyssa. You're welcome.
Like
big
it's
thanks.
Open.
Oh, that's what Elon was. I'm sorry. Santa is
there
open here, popping to the highs here. 821.
Yep.
Whoa, even higher. 825.
Yep.
I have here. 828 now. 830, your day high.
Yeah, and that's just one of the things we were looking at, and there it got killed.
Big pull. You saw the order come in there too on the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
Just immediately shot that thing down. Let's see if this really keeps pulling, and maybe we might even get a halt to the downside here. That Santa halt was the first one, right?
That I've noticed. This is one of the things. This is why I was saying this is why I bracket order these, because you can get things like that to happen.
Yep. And now we're getting a bounce. So just as fast as it fell, it's bouncing back to the highs. New highs there. 830.
Shaking out the weekends.
See it? Yep. If I had taken that, I likely would have been one of those. Bounce coming here. Ryan asking for levels on Oxy. We'll take a look at that here when we get a sec. Jesse, good to see you, Jesse. Hope you're doing well. Smash up the like for 13. Really doing a great job here. Yes, I am in the headquarters in Detroit here. We're out here having a ball.
Oh, wow. Oxy.
Santa, 850 highs.
Oxy is heading towards the 2023 lows. What is the situation here with Oxy? I'd imagine that with fuel and utilities being down last year, that energy would be and utilities would be an attractive year-long investment. So maybe there's just some opportunities for buying, but I don't know what's going on with the drop.
I was going to say maybe it's just kind of a shakeout before we actually get that move. To me, on Oxy here, let me actually flip back to Pro here. Here you go. Here's your chart on Oxy. This is a daily chart that we're looking at sure looks like this is going to retest one of these lows here, 56, right? It looks like we kind of we gapped up, we bounced, had a little bit of that island action here, went up towards that 100-day moving average and reversed here. We've continued to fall. Let's see what happens if we get to 56, only 91 cents away to the downside. One thing I will say here, 13, I know you love this, RSI at 36. So if we do come down to that level, there might be a potential bounce spot there for a trade.
Yep.
So 56, one of the downside levels to watch here, Ryan. And as far as if we turn around here, there are a couple of levels that we have to watch on the upside. Now, you always want to pay attention to those moving averages, of course. We definitely want to be able to break out of, what do I have here, about 62, and then I'd say 67.5 are going to be your levels. So 56 on the downside, then 62 and 67.5 on the upside. See if that can get rolling here. What 13 was talking about, we took a look at some of the different sectors last year that were negative. We actually showed the chart here a couple of days. I don't have that bookmark in front of me, unfortunately, but a lot of those sectors that were laggards, the very next year they became leaders, or at least towards the top of the leaderboard. Energy did fit into that last year, so maybe we'll see energy as one of those sectors that's higher this year.
Smoke Tuna mentioning Z-Car, the one that goes in Z Garage, and it's looking like it's about to try to get above the open, the regular session highs, but it's moving very slowly. I'm not quite sure, and it might. Let's see, what's the spread? It's a little bit spready too. ABVC.
By the way, SANA has only had one halt and one resume. Someone asked that earlier. I didn't have the answer right there.
Yeah, I was just mentioning ABVC is still very, very slow moving, but it's trying to well, it just opened or just had another trade beneath the VWAP. Don't really know with
That's
ABVC.
ABVC,
very
right? Alpha, Alpha, Bravo, Victor, Charlie. Yeah.
Yeah. Not sure about that one. Very, very slow moving. I don't know. I can't really say about that one. Palantir just continuing to go low, but it looks like it may have found support from the pre-market low that I got here of 1640. So let's see if this bounce continues and can move back up through some moving averages in VWAP.
Just watching the scanner here. The things definitely slowed down here. Kit 57 penny stack that we talked about earlier, 57.20 there on Kit. Arbot 66, that was the other penny stack that Smoke Tuna brought up. Xcur, another penny stack right at about 69 cents for you penny players. PTGX, what's this one? I don't think I saw this one on the scanner earlier. What are we doing here? PTGX.
It sounds like something we've looked at before.
Protagonist Therapeutics.
Oh, they think they're a bunch of heroes.
TGTX down 12% here. Wow, TGTX, big move down. Nice sell in the pre-market, by the way, Jay. Nice job lightening your TGTX position up in the pre-market. That was the move. AEHR still down 15% here. PTGX, this looking like a 28 test coming up here. Let me see if I can find some news for this. Rustam saying, why does DNA have so much volume all day, every day, and it's not moving? Because it has a huge, huge float. It's all about the share structure there in DNA. We call that trading thick. So a lot of action, not a lot of price movement. And I don't see any fresh news here, by the way, on PTGX.
Yeah, and you also have, according to this, it's 57% institutional ownership. That's going to mean that you have a good amount of float that probably won't move a whole lot at all.
Yep. Jay Rice saying that the breadth 2 days in a row is pretty bad. A few names are working and holding up the indexes: Microsoft, NVIDIA, Meta. Jay, have we heard this before? I mean, I feel like this is what we did for the latter half of last year, pretty much all year, or in the entire second half of last year. I beg your pardon. It was we even had those awesome memes floating around FinTwit of the building falling over and being propped up by NVIDIA, Apple, and the Magnificent Seven stocks. I'm telling you, at some point, I don't know when it's going to happen this year, but at some point, if those names crack, look for a big move down here. Santa going for a second halt, says Smoke Tuna on Santa. Let's check that out. 8:30 on Santa? Every time I say it, it feels like I'm saying Santa, but I'm not.
CM is bringing up LEN, increased dividends. The LEN is a home builder, and these are going to do really well.
Lennar, yep.
And they already have done well, and they're going to continue to do well. So this is more of an investment grade stock. I don't know if I would look at this for day trading, even though you can. When I see things with dividends, I'm like, okay, well, that's something that I probably want to consider for a long term.
Jay saying, yeah, but the breadth in November and December was fantastic, and we're seeing that change. Jay Wild, C4 here to VWAP. I actually think I might have that up and trade the pool. I had Santa up. That is going for the highs there. Let's check out C4. Let's flip this on. Oh, there we go. All right, let me go. Let me move back to that. Bam, here we go. Here's C4. Actually, this is a decent spot here on C4. Do I try it again? Try it again here. 801 was the VWAP. I feel like I'm buying at the highs right here. I'm going to watch this one for a little. I'm going to try and be a little bit more patient on this. I'm already 0 for 2. I wanted to jump right in there because it looks to my eye here like the chart's curling up. Maybe we have 25 cents of movement here. But, yeah, I'm going to actually wait for a little bit better setup here. We already came back into VWAP. Let's see if this holds 8 here. C4.
Yeah, I may just raise my stop out in CMND. It's slowly trickling down. We had a big drop, and then it got immediately bought back up. So I could be hopeful, but I don't want to be in this too long. So if it's not going to work out after a certain period of time, I'm just going to take the loss and move on.
That's how it goes. That's how it goes sometimes. Smoke Tuna, LAES. I'll come back to C4 here. Let me pull up LAES. Sorry, 13. Didn't mean to run you over.
I just switched over to that one too. So let's talk about it.
This one pushing up off the VWAP here. This looks like the curl is complete. We continue to move back up. Well, maybe not complete. 190's got some size. 196 has some size. 199, your day high.
Yeah, that's where all the supply from pre-market is. KIT might be worth watching. KITT.
That was the penny stock that got called earlier by Becca. Looks like Becca's printing money for the community here today. You'd love to see it. Kevin, real quick here. Good question. Any thoughts on buying some SQQQ for a hedge for tomorrow's numbers? So I'll take the first part of that here. We were actually just discussing, I think it was Monday this week. We were discussing how it feels weird because I don't have any hedge on. Right. I feel like the market could sell off. Really don't have any hedge on. The last time I had a hedge on, it did nothing but go down. Thankfully, the rest of my portfolio traded up. So that actually ended up working out. I have no hedge here. What you want to do when it comes to hedging, you want to buy it when it's cheap, right? You don't want to buy it when everyone else is buying it. So if you're worried about the number tomorrow, maybe a little bit of hedge on that seems prudent. But remember, if you're putting it on as a hedge, you're going to be okay with that position depreciating so long as you have other positions to counteract it.
One thing I'll say about the banks on Friday, because I'm going to be looking for this when they report, is the assessment that a lot of these banks are going to have to pay to the FDIC because of the regional banks that had the issues early last year. They're going to need to replenish that because the FDIC is funded by banks, not taxpayers. Mm-hmm. And if they need to do that, then we're talking billions that these banks are going to have to put into that. So that's something that I'm going to be watching for. And I also am going to be watching for their credit loss provisions. I know that there's still a lot of bad loans out there, especially with the commercial real estate sector. So I think it's going to be very, very important to see what these banks say about what's going on with them for the end of the year and how they are going to handle those headwinds.
Are you more skeptical of banks that have larger commercial real estate exposure on their books than others? Is that just kind of like a general thing?
Well, I think I'm more skeptical of regional banks.
Yeah,
because I think big banks like JP Morgan. I think JP Morgan's going to be okay. Some of the other large banks, Wells Fargo, maybe not. Bank of America, Citi. Those are the four I'm going to be watching, and I think it's worth bearing attention to what they say about the current financial state of things.
Okay. SANA here looked like it was trying to bounce off that VWAP, but you'll notice here on this 3-minute chart, each consecutive candle has a lower high. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that this is exactly what's going to happen. We'll see what's going to end up happening here, but as long as this pattern continues, I'm skeptical. And again, if I'm going to trade this here, definitely don't want to try it on the break. Let's see. Here we go. We're getting a little bit of push up there, but again, unable to set that new high.
LAES. I took a position here to try, smaller than my CMND one. It's working.
LAES is moving up here. I opted not to take that one as we punched through the VWAP. They brought in a bid here right under it, 188.
Yep. That's going to help hopefully lift it, unless it gets eaten up on by sellers. What else do we have going on?
LAES also big size at 2 and your day high at 199, and that's what we're approaching right here. I'm going to watch this one here. I'm going to watch this one on a potential breakthrough too. Some big size there.
C4 has a good size bid at 786. If the price gets down there and it doesn't break through that, there could be a good reversing of the price action in C4. Worth watching, I think.
Okay, VWAP there at 8, so we're just under it.
We're under it, yeah. Is Santa still? I got to make sure I don't pronounce a T. Is Santa?
It's harder than it looks, isn't it? Especially when you're saying it fast. Yeah, we did break to the upside there, but again, immediately pulled.
Mm-hmm.
And we did. So we actually, we were just talking about some of these different candles having lower highs. We just rocketed through that, and we actually took out all of those highs there on Santa. Smoke Tuna calling NVNI for a bounce off the bottom. Let's take a look at that. That was on our list here from this morning. NVNI does look like this is slowed down. Tuna. You know what? I'm going to join you.
Yeah, I will too.
I'm going to join you right here.
And I'm out of LAS before that drop. It looks like it's going to recover and try to go higher, but I completed the trade on that one.
I put a limit order out at 250. We'll see if I get filled there. I don't want to be a Santa bag holder. Yeah, it's a big bag with all those gifts in there. Say sauna instead of Santa or Santa.
That's a good point. Thanks, Rick.
Yeah, that's actually not bad. That would work.
I could use a sauna.
Oh, yeah, I've heard those are great for you.
Oh, steam it up.
Steam it up.
CDIO is trying to not fall any further, and it's still falling further. I think about $3 is a level worth watching, and it's right about there. There's a big size at bids at 290. So just some things I'm seeing with that one. I don't know what's going to go on with CDIO, but I think if that bid holds, could be some more upside.
Bring that up on another chart here. I see what you're looking at on CDIO. I'm not sure I'm going to get filled back at 250 here. I tried to maybe say, let's not market into this one. Let's limit into this one. I'm not sure I get filled here.
As Sauna is just bringing the heat. It's still going higher. Amazing. Good job of everybody that caught that one.
Yep.
You know, Smoke Tuna, it's funny you bring up ICCT because I noticed that one had some small pre-market gains, and I was like, okay, well, this is going to be one to watch because it's been a mover before.
Yep.
Let me bring that one up because I don't know what's happening. Yeah, it has been. Okay.
Yeah, so this is a very, very similar setup to NVNI, right? Because this is coming back in off that pop, and it looks like it might be curling back towards the VWAP.
Lots of bids at 137
here. All right, NVNI looks like I'm sitting on my bid here. See if we get filled. I'm going to have a stop. If I do get filled here, I'm going to have a stop below low a day. So 242 will be the stop once this position is filled.
Yep. That's about where I'll put mine too.
Jay selling a few weekly 17 puts on TGTX. Good job trading around your core there, Jay. I really like that.
C4 is still consolidating. It looks like it's trying to move up out of this consolidation.
I'll bring that up while I'm sitting on the bid here.
Nexi testing VWAP.
This does look like this is trying to maybe move out of this consolidation here on C4. You're right. Here we go. Boy, that happened fast. All I had to do was talk about it. A little bit of size there at 820.
No. And NVNI moving up slowly.
Yeah, it didn't get filled in there. Let's see, where we up. There's 250. I'm still on the bid here, NVNI. Joey saying, first time here, first time trader. Well, welcome, Joey. If you haven't yet, can you see how NEO is doing? We can pull up NEO.
Sure.
Taking a look at that here. Looks not great. We talked a little bit about when we were mentioning AEHR about how EVs might have pressure on them as a whole. NEO's chart not great here. Pretty much clean rejection at that 960 several days ago. We're down 2 points from that here. Today's intraday chart not looking great either. Maybe we've kind of bottomed here for the day, but I don't know. NEO not looking great.
And this is a Chinese vehicle. Yeah.
Yep,
so
Chinese
that's a whole other side to this. The Chinese economy is not doing great right now. And
Nope.
I think that's going to really affect pretty much everything that comes out of there. Now, one thing I'll say about this daily chart on NEO is that we have double bottomed in 2023 in this stock. And now we're heading back to those bottoms again. That's not a good sign. I think that if we can't hold that bottom around $7, we're going lower. It got a rejection at the 200-day SMA. It's not looking great, but this is an important area for it to bounce. It's got to bounce, within the next 40 cents or so, or else I think we do go lower in this.
Here is that level that 13's talking about. Clear as day on the daily chart. 7 has support.
Okay.
Oh, I got filled on NVNI.
All right, and then there's a good sized bid at 248. Hopefully that moves things up.
Okay.
But this is now a slow mover. It's just kind of sitting around doing nothing, so I'm a little concerned. CMND, I'm still in this, and we're moving back up. Hopefully, we'll break VWAP, and I'll start getting filled on my sell orders.
Stop set here on NVNI, 242, just as discussed. We'll see if we get a bounce here. If not, we're going to be 0 for 3 today and have kind of a rough day. Let's check C4.
LAES is sideways.
You're welcome, Joey.
Yes, you're welcome. LAES is trying to break those last two 5-minute candles it was making when I was talking about trading this one. So let's see what happens with that. It could move. When it needs, if it gets over this huge hump at $2, then it's probably going to run pretty handily, maybe up to 215, where there's another large size of selling. So that might be something to consider.
Remember, we stopped at 199 earlier today, but to 13's point, huge size there at 2. That block's going to need to get hit and eaten for this to move higher.
Oh.
It looks like it's going to be trying. We'll see.
Okay, so I got stopped out of NVNI.
As did I. 242 stop, and we are out 0 for 3. Rough day for Rhino today. Rough day.
Right.
Dude, my dad used to call me that when I was a kid because I grew up watching Cubs games, and Ryan Sandberg's nickname around Chicago was Rhino. I know Ryan and Ryan are not exactly the same, but my dad called me that, so I busted out occasionally. And
just like the animals themselves, you are quite rare.
I appreciate that, 13.
That's a compliment.
I know. I only take things as a compliment. Becca saying 13. Check out Zim here.
I did see that.
Mm-hmm.
I did see that, and I've already been out of it since last week, which is fine. I haven't gotten back into it. Let's take a look. Maybe there's some opportunities I could get into here, because one thing I've noticed about this one is that there is a gap to be filled from about 1606 to 1736. And we're not quite there yet, but this has a pretty good bull flag formation taking shape here in Zim on the daily. It's I hope that the news about losing their integrated shipping lane partnership with Costco doesn't affect them too badly. This is a company that's heavily tied to shipping rates. So there may be an offset there. I can't say for sure, but I haven't gotten back into this, and I would like to, but I need to, make considerations first.
Zim, this one wild here. Daily chart does look pretty good here on Zim. 14 probably coming if it keeps trading up.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna break the high it made on what day was that? Friday, but we'll see.
OMGA continuing here, Crow. This was a nice breakout of that consolidation area right around 440 to 450. This was a really good call. 25 cents from that. We'll see if 5 gets taken. I've got size at 478 and 480. We're right there. We'll see if this gets taken. I'm actually going to leave this one up a little bit here.
Kit is getting some action, trying to pull itself back above VWAP, so that might be coming back. We'll see. And then there's not a whole lot else that I'm looking at.
No, there really isn't. Did you want to go over some of those names that you have? Some of the longer term names?
Yeah, we can do that. And I don't know that we'll be able to get into everything. You know what I'm going to do, because I don't have a whole lot of confidence in this one anymore, is I'm just going to exit my CMND position and just take the loss. So I am 1 for 3 today. So yeah, not the greatest day.
No, not definitely not for me either. All right, let me see if I can pull. I know you sent me that list yesterday. Let me get that here as a resource, and I'll try to follow you as you drive, or I'll try to drive.
And I think the best way to I think the best way to go about this is to maybe just start with something important about these. Like I have 4 of these that are REITs. And the thing about REITs is that their dividends are much different than other stock dividends, because the IRS considers any dividend from REITs to be pass-through income. So they're not going to be qualified dividends ever. The way you get around that is you have it in a retirement account, like a Roth IRA. So that's what I've been doing lately, is starting to move my REITs out of my stock portfolio and into my Roth IRA. The ones that I own are ADC, which is Agri Realty, ARCC. No, I'm sorry, that might not be one. It's ADC.
ARCC is on the list.
Okay, so yeah, it's on the list, but I don't think that's. I'm not sure if that's a REIT. I don't believe it is. It's ADC that's a REIT. O that's a REIT. I have 2 more on here. I'm sorry, bear with me, folks.
No, it's all good. Let me actually really quickly answer a question here. First of all, Jay Wild mentioning AMPE. So this stock here, another bounce off the VWAP, moving back towards the highs. And then Levy is asking, how do you use the MACD with the 3-minute chart? Well, first of all, full disclosure, the MACD 3-minute chart was something that I got directly from Smoke Tuna here. The goal here is to be able to show weakness and strength intraday in the stock without getting head faked by the 1-minute chart, and then also without being lagged behind the 5-minute chart, at least as I see it. One of the things that I'll see here, one of the ways that I'll use this, is if we have a MACD where the histogram is in the negative and it starts to come back, or it starts to collapse and move towards the positive, especially if that's moving with the signal line, we generally think that there's some more strength there. I'd actually like to have Smoke Tuna give some of his tips on this, because again, this is what he came up with. I've been trying to utilize this to expand my toolbox here. But basically what I'm looking at are the signal lines and the histogram. And when they start to curl up, hopefully you're already at some type of support point to give you long entry. You can also tell when the stock weakens to the upside here in the opposite, right? So the histogram starts to top and starts to come in. Well, look what happens to the price. You notice that the lines start to curve down. That's a little bit of a delayed reaction here. Kind of keeping an eye on the histogram. Let me know if that's helpful at all, Levy.
And then Beach Bum Trading saying, yeah, just put REITs in retirement accounts. That's absolutely it. And yeah, he's mentioned O. The ones that I have are ADC, AMT, which is American Tower. Yep. And then I also have GMRE, which is Global Medical REIT. And some of these I started buying when the pandemic was starting to unfold in 2020, because there was a huge drop in the market, and that was a really, really good buying opportunity for a lot of these strong names. I like ADC. ADC was actually brought to my attention by Benzinga when you had the CEO on. I believe he's also the owner. And the great thing about ADC is that their dividends are paid monthly, not quarterly. So it's for people that are looking for good income, if that's their angle, they want to take it. I like ADC for the monthly dividend, and that was a really good one. American Tower is a REIT that focuses on cell phone towers. So they own the land that these cell phone towers are built on. So usually when you have carriers that need service, like Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, they're going to, it's going to be good for AMT. More customers for AMT, more money for them. And it's one of the reasons why when Amazon announced that they were going to get into the cell phone space, I said, well, watch AMT, because that's going to positively affect their numbers. Realty, I just decided to get in this one because I wanted to be in that particular space, and I thought the dividend was fine. I didn't do enough due diligence on that one as I probably should have, but that one is one of the ones that I am getting rid of to move the cash into my Roth IRA. And then finally, GMRE, Global Medical REIT. This is another one that I got in when the pandemic started, because it just made sense to me that medical facilities are still going to be widely used, in particular with a pandemic happening.
Yeah,
that turned out to be pretty good, and it had a very, very sizable dividend as well. So those are the ones I have. My cost basis on these as of now: ADC near flat with 63.16. American Tower doing really well with 199.38. GMRE, my cost basis was 841. And about flat with 56.83. Some of these I started buying in 2022 when rates were starting to go up, and I was buying into that weakness. Now that we're about to enter a rate cutting cycle, these are starting to take off, and these are it's the time to sell into the strength.
Okay. So you're pretty much flat on only two of those, and you're up on the rest, and they all pay dividends. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So my account was growing at the time because of the dividends, but at the same time I was getting that they were getting taxed as regular income, which you can add up all the tax you've ever paid and cry yourself to sleep that night. So I decided, I don't want to be getting taxes heavily on some of these pass-through incomes. Starting to get rid of them, moving into Roths.
Jay saying VTR is an old age home REIT. That might be one to take a look at. And really quickly here, just to kind of button up what Levy was asking earlier regarding the 3-minute chart. First of all, Smoke Tuna telling me I did a fantastic job. See, I can learn, the old dog can learn new tricks, Smoke Tuna, and we'll continue to do that. Goes on to say, I like the 3-minute bottom now. Now, one thing to keep in mind, when Smoke Tuna said that, this last histogram bar that you see here on my screen wasn't there. So if we take that away, you can see that the histogram is kind of compressing. The slope of these lines is kind of slowing down. And if we take a look on the price chart here, it looks like we actually have some bottoming action. We've got some of these candles here that have wicks to the bottom that are forming bullish candles. If we actually take a look on the hourly chart here, again, when Tuna was talking about that here, this was a little bit higher, and this actually formed a hammer on that chart. So using a number of different things to try and spot where that reversal is. Now, the one thing as always with these, none of these are 100%. So it did look like that was happening here. The stock price moved down. We'll see if this actually moves back up here, but this is what Tuna was looking at. NVNI, a really good example there.
LAES still trying to recover.
I may be a dog, but not old. I feel old. But thanks, Dr. Man.
No Name brings up a great point about inflation, that it's never going to stop rising until the limit of the USA. I'm assuming he means the debt limit. Yeah, that's entirely possible too. The rate will go with 5% till 2025. Entirely possible as well. There's still a good portion of the market that believes that our first rate cut comes in March. I don't think that's happening at all.
Me either. I'm not on that camp.
Yeah, I think that's going to really, really make a lot of people unhappy. You'll probably see a lot of market pulls from that. If we're going to get a rate cut at all this year, it's going to be in the back half of the year. And to your point, it may even not happen until 2025. So that's entirely possible. The fact that the market's pricing in and moving these stocks up on the idea that we might get the rate cuts later this year, that's the strength I'm selling into with some of these. So it may not, you're probably right. We might not even see rate cuts until 2025. I'm not waiting around for that. I'm taking my profits as they come up.
Tesla, by the way, bouncing off the bottom. We got a nice little $2 bounce here for Lynn and Randy. If you're out there, looks like a couple of things. SPY's bouncing here too. VIX moving back to lows. Everything might be in order now. Jay saying the March cut went bye-bye after the last jobs report.
It did get knocked down a bit, but there is still a 64.5% probability of a 25%. A 25-point rate cut in March, and that's based off of the CME Group's FedWatch tool, which I believe tracks or is based off of the rate futures that are traded. So that's going up. So look, I'm not trying to disagree with the March cuts going bye-bye. I don't think it's happening.
Me either. Yep.
There's still enough people in the market that think there is, and that's why we have a market. We need to have both sides. But yeah, absolutely, I think you're right, Jay. I don't see rate cuts happening in March, unless some kind of huge macro or macroeconomic event or geopolitical event occurred. Then that might change things.
Yacht insurance guy in Florida. Absolutely love that handle. LIDAR bottoming out ? Let's take a look at LIDR here. It looks like really, really low volume here.
Yeah, LAES.
Maybe finding some support here.
LAES, it's looking like it's going to try to move, and then you have that. Well, now 195 is starting to get a lot of size, and then you have $2.
Yeah, that's the 2 is the real big one, and actually, It looks like maybe some of that was peeled off too and brought down and sold into.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now that's gone. Now we're making our way up to 2. Okay, it's still moving up. If you're in LAS, you might be doing good.
Let's see what happens at 2 here. I'm not going to buy this break, though. I suspect a pullback. If you're in it, you might want to consider paying yourself on the way up if it breaks through there, but I'm not going to take the new trade here at that 2 break. No golf today. You'll survive, though.
Kit could be interesting. We're about to get an EMA across on VWAP, and I think if we get that, we could try for the regular session highs.
This is going to have to hold in here. We'll see if it does. Kit, 55 cents.
Whoever mentioned PLTR earlier, it absolutely reversed and took off.
Yeah, it sure did. Maxim saying, man, we did miss PLTR. I should have been more patient. Can't hit them all. What I would say is when you see something frustrating like that, try and learn try and examine what you did and how you can do things a little bit differently. Sometimes that works for me. Sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, and I probably could have been more patient with CMND because that still hasn't gotten down to where I originally was going to get stopped out. I just didn't want to be in anymore. But it's looking like it could try to make a comeback. It needs to get back above 3 in order for me to feel comfortable about it going up to VWAP.
And maybe we are getting that curl here. I got some size here at 297 and then at 299 on CMND.
Yeah. Smoke Tuna saying ICCT.
Let's take there it is. That Crow giving you some more stuff here on LAES2. ICCT popped above that 150 and moved higher here. Deb saying thanks for the AMD mention. Caught the bottom around 147. Awesome, Deb. Way to book some gains there. Hopefully you did book some gains or will. You almost nailed the dead bottom there. Not bad, Deb. Or Debs, excuse me. Not bad at all. Crow saying, Ryan, 5-minute chart RSI at 70 on LAES. That's your exit. Okay, we'll see if we get a pop above 2 here. By the way, that size chunk at 2 looks smaller, at least on my ladder here.
They may have dropped their price because I saw that 199 and 198 start to get bigger.
Stock price doing a good job holding up here, though.
The SPY is moving up on a crude drop. I think we got some information on that this morning. I think we got like inventories or something. Let me double check that.
Yep, I'm pulling that up as
Yes,
well
we did.
here.
Yep. Oil inventories build of 1.33 million versus a draw of 675 estimated. So better than expected.
And then the gasoline was a build of 8.029 million versus a build of 2.489 million. Kit looking like it's trying to pop. Looks like it pulled already though on Kit.
Yeah, that's the thing about these penny stocks, man.
Yeah. Yep. Got to be quick. Got to be nimble. LAES, we're still coming up to that 2 level here. I got to think that this is going to be in play at some point here. Got about 20 minutes left here. Smash up the like for my man 13, donating his time and knowledge to the community here. 13, you've done a great job raising the tide for our entire community. For those of you that don't, for those of you that don't know, 13 has been joining the Happy Hour program since its inception. Good movie, by the way. And also 13 is a moderator for the Happy Hour channel built right into Pro. So if you want to keep up with this stuff all the time, Benzinga Pro is where you need to be. You'll have access to 13 and all of the different informational things that we do around here. Smash up the like for my guy. Thanks again, 13, for donating your time.
Absolutely. You know, if we can all be smarter traders, we can all make money together.
That's right.
There's a lot of really, I mean, I'm not the only one that posts in the Happy Hour channel. You'll see some serious brain power come into this channel all throughout the day.
Kit, by the way, real quick, Kit broke beneath that VWAP. Looks like it might be moving lower here. We'll see. Sorry for interrupting.
It's okay.
13.
No, it's okay. I just was mentioning that, you know, if you're looking to talk about you know, stocks or trading or whatever, I'm in there most of the day.
Yeah, and Jay Rice, by the way, you'll be happy to know that the Happy Hour is more up your alley. We don't really cover a lot of these small stocks unless there's a really, really good catalyst. Small stocks here being flagged by the relative volume scanner on a daily basis in the highest amount, if you will. It's mostly those stocks, that is to say. So, Jay, you should check out the Happy Hour, frankly. Get on Pro, get in there. LAES really kind of holding out here. I think the one thing that I like to see here is that this isn't breaking down. Like, we haven't had the strength yet or the volume numbers to really push into that big wall at 2 and break it. But on the flip side, we also haven't shown our weakness and continued to break down here. Kit popping, going to it right now. Look at that nasty pull and Kit moving here. Man, the penny market. The penny market is a vicious market.
It's scary trading though sometimes.
Yeah, it sure is.
And one of the things that I do when it comes to stocks underneath $1, my size trades that I take increases. I usually go in the hundreds and thousands, not hundreds of thousands, but hundreds and thousands of shares at a time. It's just, you know, with how small the price is, that's the kind of the kind of movement. That's the kind of size I want to take with these, and then it really drops off as the share price goes up in some of these stocks. I'll do smaller sizes.
Jay saying, I go to the gym during that Happy Hour time slot. I got to keep the obesity rate from 50%. I'm never going to tell anybody to not focus on their health. Health is wealth. Going to the gym, a big part of that. Keep it up, Jay.
When the big institutional investors go take their lunch, that's typically when I go to my garage and get a few pumps in. Yeah,
I like that you have. I like that you have it in the garage. I will say, putting it in the putting my weights in the office. I look at it a lot and I feel bad. I'm like, you don't have anything going on at this exact moment. You should be pumping iron. You should be doing something. And I guilt myself. I trick myself into going.
And now we're getting CMND trying to get back above 3. And if it gets to VWAP and gets rejected, we might be getting an inverse head and shoulders position. Look at this thing go now. It's got quite a bit of size to get through on the way up here. So I don't know that I'm going to see this break above VWAP and take off.
No, but even that curl close to the VWAP is a decent trade here. 308,
Yeah.
there's got some size. 310, a little bit more. AI is popping, says Kevin. We haven't looked at AI in a hot minute. Let's check out AI. This definitely popping here. Nice big push off that VWAP here on AI. We'll see if we can actually reclaim 30 at some point. Only $1.20 away. Any news? NVNI knifed. Okay, so that's what we were talking about, Tuna. The three. In fact, let me just go to that here real quick. Then I'll go back to AI here. NVNI. We talked about this before. The MACD was setting up here, but this is again why you use more than one thing, right? If we were just looking at the MACD, we would have said, "Oh, this looks like this is curling." But as NVNI snapped these lows of the day, look at the big move down. Now we have bounced here. Looks like this sold all the way up to 197 and bounced 30 cents. My goodness, thank gosh I wasn't in there. I'm looking at my trade here and I'm thinking, boy, Ryan, your first stop was your best stop yet again. So good job protecting yourself on something that just simply didn't work out here today.
PLTR is just an absolute monster right now.
Oh my God, we went vertical there. Look at this pop.
Yeah. Hats off to who was calling this earlier when it was getting beat up. We should have listened.
And we didn't. And we didn't. I'd like to have a treadmill while I walk at my computer. So, Caleb, this is an interesting one here. I have a standing desk, and I've seen the fad of the people that have standing desks that get treadmills or some type of thing to walk there. I'll be honest, I don't think I can focus while I'm doing that. Like, I need to separate those two activities. I can't walk while I'm working. I only focus on one of those things at a time. I do like the standing desk, and I do use it, but I don't have the treadmill down there. Boy, I'd be hitting 10,000 steps every day if I had that. Okay, and Kevin, you wanted me to take a look for possible news on AI. Let's do that right here. Let's do that right here.
Even if he's walking stationary, he's still going places.
Oh, the places you'll go.
All right, PLTR finally with a pull after... Geez, I don't know, what, a half hour about worth of just up moves.
Let's see here. Sorry, I'm trying to load up the news feed here. I don't see any new news here on AI, ticker AI.
I didn't either, and I'm wondering
I didn't see anything.
I wonder if that's just kind of like a relationship move off of NVIDIA. You know, because I think
Jay saying I ride a.
You read a book.
Oh, wait. Okay. I must have massive delay here, Joe. Your picture is separated from your audio. So sorry about that. Real quick here, Jay saying, yeah, I read a book while riding my sit-down bike for an hour while listening to Kramer. So what I gather from there is that you're not actually listening to Kramer. You're working out and reading the book. Kramer's just background noise. You're not actually listening to him, or he's listening to what not to do, frankly. By the way, PLTR pulling off that 17 level now.
That's a good point. I didn't even look at the short interest in this. No, I don't think. No, not really heavily shorted
on PLTR or AI?
Yeah, on PLTR. I was looking for news, and I didn't even think to look at some of the other metrics on this. It's incredible. This is moving as much as it is for having a float of 1.9 billion.
Q's at the highs of the day here. Caleb saying when AI is moving, that means tech is back. Tech definitely back so far here. Don't have. Did I? No. Don't have Roma and trade the pool crow. Let's see what that looks like actually, though. IPO from yes, that is curling here. That'll be interesting to see if that gets rolling. Roma, I don't know what that is though. I'll have to look that issue up when we get off the air here. And we got about 12 minutes left here, folks. Thanks again for joining us. Thanks for the fill-in here, 13. And
Sure.
also, be sure to stick around. I'm actually not sure what's coming up next. If it's a RAS thing, let's see if I can find out.
You know, I really like the point we were talking about with Bitcoin yesterday and in happy hour and getting the SEC Twitter account being hacked. Or X account, whatever you want to call it.
God, what a nightmare that is.
That was pretty interesting on the idea that now we can see the price action based off that news releasing. So I don't remember who said that in happy hour, but watching what the price action was on that news drop is probably something that was being paid close attention to by the SEC.
Wasn't that Jeff Dees?
It may have been. I'm not sure. But I thought it was a brilliant comment.
So there is nothing scheduled after us here today. So we're going to be signing off here in just about 11 minutes, 10 minutes here. Elon saying, hey, Ryan, you staying at the HQ in Detroit? Well, I'm not actually staying at the office. I'm staying at a place near the office. But yes, I'm here all week.
Thank you for your compliment, Ken.
13 has lots of good info and analysis. Indeed.
Before we sign off, I could drop a few more stocks that I own, because I just was mentioning the REITs specifically because they have, the IRS looks at their dividends differently, and almost all the other stocks that I have dividends that are qualified. So, and that's qualified dividends are when you hold a stock that pays the dividend for 60 days after their ex-dividend. I believe that's, I'm getting that right, but I hold some of these for at least a year, some longer. So I know I'm getting qualified dividends at that point.
If you want, you can run through a couple more of those.
Okay.
If you want to just pick a couple of them. But real quick, I mentioned that we nothing on after us here today. But tomorrow we have an AI webinar, AI Revolution 2024 Portfolio Building with 2 expert guest speakers tomorrow at 11, right after live trading. If you are about the AI phase, definitely want to put that on your calendar and check that out. 13, did you have a stock you wanted me to go over here?
Let's see. You guys already know about Amazon. I picked that one up in October on a limit order for 119. So that one's doing all right. I didn't get as much as I wish I had, because I was expecting a little bit of a better price, but it went off after that. So some of these that I bought in October and September and November, they haven't looked back yet. And some of them I was trying to get a better price on to further get into it. But Amazon's one of those. I was asked if I think it's going down, and I said it looked like it was going down in a short term, but long term, which is what I have this for, I think it's going to do pretty well. I also own Bank of America and JP Morgan.
So you're really looking forward to those bank earnings and what that's going to mean going forward here.
Yeah, Bank of America and JP Morgan, I both bought. Those are both pandemic buys. When everything was going down. So I have a good cost basis on those, $21.85 for Bank of America, $101.99 for JP Morgan. And these are just very, very strong, good banks. I know, Ryan, you have a big opinion on Bank of America as I think you're a former customer.
Former customer and former employee.
Okay. So yeah, there's going to be, a discrepancy there with how we view that. But I think Bank of America is a strong company. A good bank, and I've been holding them for a while. They're doing pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that you're talking about things that apply to the stock. I'm talking about my personal experience with them. Look, their reality is the fact that they charged me a whole bunch of BS overdraft fees, 10 years ago or whenever it was, has absolutely no impact on the stock. It just makes me hate that company a little bit more. Working for them wasn't that great either, although some of the people I worked with were great, so I should mention that. But anyway, you're talking about the stock itself.
Yeah.
By the way, Ryan Milligan mentioned Mara here. Mara doing a good job bouncing off that 23. What was it? 2350. We have 2375. Beg your pardon. 2530 here and climbing on Mara.
Z-Car. It's such a low volume stock right now, but it's coming up to the 65 EMA on the 5-minute, and I'd be looking to see if this moves or has a breakout over it. It's above VWAP right now.
Z-Car not in Trade the Pool.
Let's see if I can mention something else. Nexi, it's, the volumes has pretty much gone, but it's trying to reclaim VWAP. A lot of these just, I don't even know if we're worth looking at these anymore because of how slow moving they are.
Yeah, look, I tried a couple of trades here today. Didn't really feel great about all of them. Ended up striking out today. 3 strikes and you're out. That's what happened to me here today. But we'll see. Tesla, really strong bounce. Apple, a good bounce off the lows as well. Maybe tech is coming back into favor, at least today. Take care of yourself, Beach. Thanks for all your support. Ryan, thank you. We're going to be signing off here in just a few minutes. Really appreciate you guys hanging out. Before you sign off, make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. We really appreciate it here. And like I've been saying past couple weeks here, we're going to be looking to add some stuff here and add some value to the show. So if you guys have ideas on that you want me to look into, I'd love to hear them. Love to hear them. So you can always shoot me an email. I'll go ahead and drop my email in the chat. We do have some of our own plans. But yeah, let us know. We're always looking to grow this and make it better and more appealing to the viewers. Thank you, viewers, for being here. And of course, 13 as well.
And as I keep going on here and trade with you guys, I'll keep talking about the different stocks I own, because I said there are quite a bit of them, and I probably won't be able to get through everything in a whole session. But when we have downtime like this, good time to talk about some things that I'm looking at in the long term, that I have for the long term.
Yeah, I bookmarked that, right? So we don't have to go through the entire list here today. What I really like here, 13, is I think that there are some elements of the happy hour show that we can bring to this show that are really going to kind of attract a broader base, right? Like we hear Jay Rice all the time talk about, hey guys, stop trading these stupid penny names. I don't trade the stupid penny names. And there are a lot of people that are like that. And we trade what's moving here. So I'd love to be able to bring other aspects in here. Even if the day is a little bit slow, we'll still have things to look into and discuss. And the other thing here is that the one thing that we don't really cover in this show here is research, right? Research is not like the sexiest thing to see. We want to see trading action, especially when the market's open. But we'll try and drop some of those tips on how you can find some of these things and make some more educated decisions. And that will apply to not just day trading, and not just smaller price stocks.
Research is a lot of fun for me. So if there's something that, if there's something that you want me to research, guys in the chat and girls in the chat, drop a ticker and, I'll see what I can find and I can give you my opinion on it if that's what you're looking for.
Zoltan does a really good job at doing that.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. He really, really does. And he's got access to some information avenues that I don't. So I think that he's a
bulldog, dude. He's a bulldog. He tracks stuff down. If he doesn't have it, he goes out and finds it. He is a go-getter.
GitLab, I already know GLTB. GTLB. I mean, yeah. So GitLab up to, I already know about what this company does. And my wife is a developer, so I know that she's using this company as well. A lot of developers do. I think you guys and the folks in Benzinga dev team use GitLab quite a bit as well.
We use GitLab as a ticketing system, absolutely.
Yeah, so this is one of those companies that is really getting used a lot by people that build software, websites, that kind of ilk. I could do some research in this for you. What are we looking at in terms of GitLab? Is it a buy? Is it a sell? I could, I'll give you all that opinion, but just looking at the daily chart right now, it looks like we're in a bit of a recovery, trying to come up off the bottoming that we had in the middle of 2023. But I'll look into this some more and see what I can find for you.
And it looks like we're approaching a potential gap fill here, right? We gapped down. This is kind of a small gap here, maybe 63 to 61.75. We might be trying to fill that gap. That's just kind of a little move here. Let me see if I can back this chart out. No, there's not much going on there.
It's been upgraded. It has a buy rating, 73 price target. So there's, it's got some coverage on it that seems to people seeming to think that it's going to go higher. So we'll see. I'll look at this for you.
And by the way, shout out Crow. You had mentioned Roma here. Of course, that Roma's not in Trade the Pool, which is why I didn't pull it up here. This is curling. This looks like an IPO from yesterday, continuing to trade up here. Crow leaving us with some gems here. Folks, it is just about 11 o'clock here. We are going to finish up here again. 13. Thank you. Any closing words before I get you out of here?
Nope. See you guys tomorrow.
He makes it real easy on me, folks. 13, smash up the likes for my boy 13. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. And folks, again, thanks for hanging out with us here on Live Trading. Let me remove this as well. There we go. Thanks for hanging out with us on Live Trading. We will be back tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow is Thursday and going to be the last show of the day, as we will not be here on Friday. And the market is closed for Martin Luther King Day on Monday. So thanks, everybody. Great stuff here from the entire chat. I absolutely love it. Stay green, stay safe, folks. We'll see ya.